Welcome to the Cult of Cinema. I am joined here by, for the first time in a long time, holy crap, Master Chaos here. And we're going to be talking about Vinegar Syndrome tonight. Now, he's a subscriber to Vinegar Syndrome. And you've been a subscriber for, what, 2-3 years now? 2 or 3 years?
Oh, this is my second year.
The second year. So we're going to talk about, because this is the time, guys, if you can't go for the full subscription. Heather, William, Uncle Fister, Videodrome, welcome, guys, Couch and John. This is the one time you can subscribe and it'd be a little bit cheaper. Now, when I say cheaper, I don't mean like significantly cheaper. It cost me around Canadian $650 altogether. Not too bad. It's a halfway subscription. So we're going to talk about like whether Jose thinks it's worth it. And we'll talk about what we think the films are going to be. And we'll go from stuff there. Actually, I got some stuff that I'm going to show off in a couple seconds. But before I do, welcome, dude.
Well, hey, thank you for having me, pal. I actually think the last time I was on here was the last halfway sale.
Was it really?
I don't think it was the pre-order, but I think it was right before the halfway, the pre-party for the halfway. Happy to be back. I love this channel. You know, I've been busy, so I've been missing the lives, but I'm always watching the replays. Strangely enough, I listen to you in the shower. So just whenever
I hear that a lot.
I don't know. Like I like to listen to something in the shower, so I like to. I'll put it on. I'll listen to talk about movies, and then well, I won't describe what happens next. But anyway, I love this channel. I love you. I love movies. And I guess I love Vinegar Syndrome. I have sort of a love-hate relationship. I guess we all do a little bit. We'll get into that.
All right, right back at you, man. I have not been on as much as usual because things have been a bit like hectic and busy, work-wise. But we're going to get into the whole Vinegar Syndrome thing. Hey to everybody out there. We got Brian Sauer from Just the Disc, who has an amazing channel, amazing podcast. Oh my God, yes, and of course Pure Cinema. Official. That's for New Beverly. See, I have a face for podcasts. I really. Flickering Waves is a great podcast too. There's so many great people in there that do their own stuff. So always check on here because there's so many other like creators that come on here. I'm a huge fan of Master Chaos's channel. Obviously, I have been for a while, we collaborated definitely a nice few times. Your movie, by the way, congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you, man.
And I still got to get around to seeing because I haven't seen anything recently. I barely get through my review copies, and recently, this.
Oh, and yeah!
Holy crap! Is this the best like job that Mill Creek have done on anything? Like,
you know what? I'll tell you what. Sort of a peek behind the curtain when it comes to reviewers online. I was, Mill Creek contacted me and go, "Oh, would you like Magnum PI?" I turned it down because I didn't have I didn't have time to cover it. So I'm like, I can't. But I'm glad. I know you got it. I know Heath got it. And I've never been a big fan of the show, but I'm sure people who love the show, that's the one to freaking get for sure. Yeah. So I'm glad you liked it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, yes, I'm a huge Magnum PI fan. Magnum PI, Miami Vice were those shows I watched when I was growing up. What I got today, by the way, guys, before getting everything, because we're going to get into the secret titles and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. I got some stuff from Umbrella. And one of the things I got is this super cool thing right here. And it smells really cool, actually.
What does it smell like?
Clean.
Oh. See, if you said it smells like Julie Strain, I'm going to get like all of them.
Julie Strain's in the second. If it was Heavy Metal 2000.
That's right. She's in the second one.
But no, this is really, really cool. I love the fact they're doing this. There's only 100 of these being done, by the way, guys. So if you were one of the people that bought the first 100 copies of Heavy Metal, you're getting this. So obviously, I guess I got me Heavy Metal. I'm a huge fan of this movie. I snuck into the theater to see this when this came out. I brought my sister to see, because at the same time, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs was being re-released by Disney. And I was living up in Alberta in, not Wetaskiwin, but in, anyway, I was in Camrose, Alberta. And there was a theater there, so I brought my sister Ray to see Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. This was playing in the other theater. I went over to watch this. And, it's so Canadian because the entire voice cast is Canadian. John Candy does Dan. And, like, really, and the soundtrack, Black Sabbath, Oyster Cult, Evo, Cheap Trick. It's just so good. Anyway, love this movie. Love this right here.
Great.
Snapshot, another one that I really enjoy. This is for the Exploitation collection. It's got a 24-page booklet in it too.
Nice. Wasn't that a Vinegar title at one point?
Was it? I have to check. No, I think you're thinking of another one, but it's a similar one.
I might. Yeah, maybe thinking of something else.
But I know what you're thinking of, those. Because my dad has one that you're thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Classic cinema, Jean de Florette and Manon de Source. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hopefully, get them rock. I'll know to pronounce this. But this is apparently big films that my better half knows, because it's based on a French book.
Right.
It's like two films. And for the classy stuff, we got Sedgwick Cinema, In the Realm of the Senses, and Empire of Passion, which is actually a really good double feature. And there's a good featurette on here. Cinema and Censorship, the films of Nagasa Oshima, a discussion. So that should be cool. Anyway, there we go. You had to get that out of the way, because I'm going to be reviewing those later on. I still got to do I got done, so I got to post my Magnum PI review. But guys, oh my God, it's almost that time of year. So you don't have to pre-order. You've already got the stuff.
I'll be going live here on YouTube. I know you're going live on Patreon. So luckily it won't be competing too much, but I'm basically just kind of sitting back and seeing what the reveals are. The VSU.
I think we're pretty sure.
If it is what we all think it is, then 100% I will buy that immediately. But who knows? We may be tricked, and it's some junky thing that no one has ever even thought of. For decades.
Disappointing. It's like another Surf 2 or something like that.
Oh God.
So
Lord.
That's one I couldn't get into. That's one that was
no. And if you could, great. If people out there loved it, fantastic.
Every movie got its fans.
Exactly. That's fantastic. If you can enjoy a movie, then God love you for it. But not everybody can enjoy the same things, and that's why movies are magic, because they don't work the same on everybody. So that's it's sort of a double-edged sword, really.
Like Dabney Coleman, we got some Dabney Coleman maybe coming.
I hope so. I mean that's the one I really, really want. But who knows? I mean, but does it really fit with the VSU? I mean, I guess VSU is all over the place.
See, that's what I like. I think with the VSU, we're getting more stuff that doesn't fit in the normal Vinegar Syndrome mold.
Okay.
And this is still it's still got the action aspect to it that the other films have had. For me, now this is just me personally. I think this is a big step up from Six String Samurai. And I didn't mind that film, but I do think that this is a rad situation where it will bring in people that have no clue what Vinegar Syndrome is. It's going to be one of those where people are going to oh man, I didn't know this company, but because there's a lot of people that liked rad that I had no idea.
Right.
I guess it. And I didn't know there's a rad like Facebook page until the movie was coming out. And man, that's an interesting page to look into. There's so many people this Vinegar Syndrome. Are they a real company? I'm like, are you serious? But I think that this could be another big one, another big step. And companies have to do this. Vinegar Syndrome has to do this. Severin has to do this, and they've been doing it. It's like people say, they're doing things outside the wheelhouse. Yes, it's getting to a point right now where there's so many companies and labels and sub-labels, and there's so much when it comes to acquisition that you got to go outside your wheelhouse and kind of every so often, maybe you don't have to take away your whole identity, but you got to kind of have to rebuild what you are as a company, or you get stagnant. And for a while, Scream Factory, for instance, was a great company, but I felt like they were getting stagnant because they were just, they were doing exactly what everybody expected them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, it just seemed like that they were scraping. And I think that they've come back and done fantastic stuff in the last couple of years. But it's been it's been there for her to be disappointed. Vinegar Syndrome. I don't think that's true, Des. I mean, they do some good stuff. I mean, especially recent. What do you think? Now, I got to ask you right now. You're 3 months in to this.
Yeah. 3 months in. Yeah. So far it's actually been a pretty decent year. There's been some really great surprises. Sister, I was really blown away by. I thought that was a really awesome movie. By the way, it's on Tubi. So as I say, TBYB, try before you buy. But I think it's a worthy movie. And then we got a glut of 4Ks this month, which to me the only hassle is that it's double dipping for me and a lot of people, and I don't love to double dip, and being forced to double dip sucks. But it's so far so good. I mean, this year there hasn't been anything that well, besides Master of the World, that I'm like, this is outright garbage. There's no Dark Tower yet.
Was it Fortress America? Was the one that was iffy?
Oh yeah.
I'll be honest with you. That's one where that was the time when I'm like, maybe I don't have to click VSA after all.
The only reason to get Fortress, and I'll keep it PG here, but there's some amazing nudity in that movie. It's stellar. It's the only reason to watch that movie.
Well, I guess my collection of VSAs continue.
Exactly.
VSAs are late. I'm iffy. TC2000 is one that I know a lot of people love this one, but for me, it was one of the ones that almost made me kind of step back a bit. I love cheesy action movies. I really do. And I love those straight-to-video action movies. Those Cynthia Rothrock movies, man. I had a time when I was watching them like back to back to back. And a lot of like King of Kickboxer, a lot of the Lauren Avenden stuff like that, watching like crazy. TC2000 was one of those where I'd be like, is there nothing else here at the video store type of thing? I don't remember. I don't have it yet, so I haven't seen it in a long time, but I don't remember it being particularly good. That's just me. Did you didn't like, did you, Other?
No, have not liked, though. Actually, the last VSA, I would say that I liked it, but I don't know that anybody needs to own it. Or was Whatever It Takes with Don the Dragon Wilson. You're right. LA Wars is right up there. LA Wars, Action USA, those are greats. But Whatever It Takes was decent. Everything else after that, I have not been a fan of. I thought Fortress of America was weak, kind of a mess. But I can see how people would enjoy that. I thought Wolfpack was super lame. I mean, it's like a TV movie, and not like a bad TV movie where it sets up a cool concept, but it never pays off. And that's my big hurdle with it. And then the last one, the new Billy Blanks movie, it's basically, it's more Tiger Claws. If you like the Tiger Claws movies, you'll like this. But I'm done reviewing those movies. I don't want to see them anymore.
I don't think that's true totally, because I had fun with the Tiger Claws things for what they were, because there's a bit more of a variation, I guess you can say, and a bit more places that were shot. And TC2000 seemed like was shot in a warehouse.
Well, yeah,
that's right. I mean, when I'm thinking, man, I'd love to have the variety of Dr. Jekyll's Dungeon of Death. Something's wrong.
It's that's very telling. In the chat, Brian says he's stopping collecting VSAs for a bit. So Brian, I'm curious if it's money related, or if you're burnt out on VSAs, because I feel they're not moving as fast either too. I mean, obviously the counts have gone up, because they used to be like 2,000 initially, and then now they're like at 6 and 8. So I guess they're not selling as fast. But geez, man. Yeah, exactly.
Third Tiger Claws the worst of the three. Like I like the first two, I can get through, and I don't mind. But the third one is where I make a lot of tea and coffee. That's where I I got to get another coffee now. you stay and watch the rest of Tiger Claw 3. No, that being said, we're not ragging on. There's a lot of great stuff that's come out. I was excited. I know that it's a bit of a double dip for you. Would be for me too if I was a subscriber. X-Ray and Schizoside, because I actually do like those films. Although X-Ray is cheesy fun. Schizoside, I think, is really solid, and the cast is great. Except, I'm not sure what the 4K is like, but if it's anything like the Blu-ray, look away when you're watching the beginning of the movie, guys, because holy crap, the killer's face is shown right at the beginning of the film.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to go back.
When the car is following the person into that thing, their face is in the window. Now, when it was on VHS, it was kind of blurred out a bit more, but you can literally see their face clear in the window. So I'm like, this is supposed to be a mystery, right? And they go on with all kinds of red herrings all throughout it, and we've literally seen the killer's face in the first 5 minutes of the film. And this is not a Vinegar Syndrome thing. This was on the Scream Factory edition too. So maybe with the 4K, because 4K is meant to not to look shinier, but to look more like a cinematic experience. That's what I always took 4K as. I never took 4K. Like I never expect 4K to be as shiny as Blu-ray. Blu-ray oversaturates sometimes. And they make things like more colorful. Like this shirt on Blu-ray would probably be way more red than it actually is in real life. But which is my Flash shirt, by the way, which I'm wearing tonight. And ironically, they actually announced this Flash omnibus. I'm super excited about. Oh yes. But yeah, there's some good stuff that came out. Somebody mentioned like the Ticks recently came out. I like Ticks. Actually, I had fun with that one.
Yeah.
The lamp was pretty cool. I liked. Hey there, Daggerman. I liked, and I know a lot of people hated this one. You probably hate it too, actually. I like Fear. See, I like Fear. I didn't see what people didn't like about that one. It was like it had a good making of too, but it's just now. That being said, I saw Fear back in the day, and when I watched it again, I did have that kind of feel like that. Oh, I remember watching this.
Right.
So that may have blurred me a bit.
Well,
myself.
I'll say same. I rented it in the video store. Obviously, it was a very, very familiar cover. You know, the wooden face. Oh, what's going on? I got to get this. This looks really cool. Yeah. And I realized why it didn't really stick in my head after rewatching the Blu-ray is that not a lot happens. And Morty, semi-spoiler alert, doesn't really show up until the end of the movie. So it's more of a drama than anything. And I think that's the problem most people had with the movie.
I think I think it's going to come down on like if you like the characters enough. Like if you're invested enough in the characters, that you'll be okay with it. But if you're not, and I'm going to be honest, they're not all Academy Award-winning actors when we're talking about Fear, but there are some good actors in there, and there's a good cameo by a director, which is fantastic. But I would like to see Fear 2. I know come out, which is a bit more action heavy than the first one, if I remember correctly. Actually, the second one might be a bit more of a crowd pleaser than the first one was. Because the first one does tend a bit slower. The second one does tend, if I remember it correctly, it gets into it a bit more when it comes to the action portion of it.
Yeah.
Craven, you're right. That is Craven.
Curious your thoughts on just backtracking a little bit about the double features we got in March. Something I was saying in my reviews is I don't understand why these are double features. Like, why did they have to sandwich these together? Why didn't they release them separate? What do you think the idea was behind that? I mean, they're not that similar that they need to be together.
They were together in Scream Factory. I'm not sure if there's a reasoning behind that. I don't think there is. There may be, but my thoughts is that they expected one to sell better than the other, and I think maybe Scream Factory did too. And if the truth of matters, I think Schizoid would sell better than X-Ray for some people. I'm a Barbie Benton fan, so I would have bought X-Ray anyway on its own. Yeah, exactly. But not everybody knows what that is. And it is the cheesier of the two films. It's hilarious. Like the scene where he's chasing after her with a big sheet of plastic cracks me up every time. I literally almost pissed myself watching that scene. And Barry Benton is like, her assets are there. Televised Terror Volume 2, we need it. And we need I thought the films were good. I know you were kind of iffy on the films for Televised Terror Volume 1.
I like two of them. One I was whatever about.
Which was that?
I actually liked the one with Elijah Wood, and I liked Calendar Girls. I forget what the other one was. Oh, the
famous one, the most famous one.
I felt that one was the weakest one, honestly.
It's not the same. I mean, like people. I think that what kills people about that one is people go in and expecting this like slasher stalker type of film, and it's really kind of like a heavy drama kind of. It's a stalker rape film, is what it is. To be bluntly honest, it's an SA film, but it does. I think it does it well. It's just that a lot of times people are going in with unusually high expectations for this one because the cast that it has, because of the look of the film, it makes it look like it's something that's not. Which is so if you go and watch Televised Terror, just know that Are You in the House Alone is not a Halloween type film. It's not a slasher movie. It's more the type of the TV film like that would be back in the day where like the girl that played Lucy on Dallas, where she's hitchhiking she gets picked up type of thing. It's more of that style as opposed to like a thriller. Now I did like that film. My least favorite, surprisingly, and I loved it, and I did like all three of them, was Calendar, Girl Murders, and I thought it was really fun. I just thought that it was a great build, and at the end, the payoff wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. Like it really, it's just built and built, and then you got what's definitely the definition of a TV movie payoff, and not in the way that because TV movies back in my day, I'm old. There used to be like an event. People would like talk about them and they'd like plan around them. The ABC Mystery Movie of the Week was a big thing back in the day. But the third one, even though it was pretty obvious, like right away who the killer is, just because body shape and type, it's kind of a giveaway. But no, it was really good. The Elijah Wood one was excellent. I want to see more like that, and I'd like to see them maybe dive up. I know some people want them to dive into the supernatural aspect of this, and I know there's movies that people want that they can't do. Like there's the Midnight
Hour.
Midnight Hour. There's reasons that can't be done. Like there's reasons nobody can do it, unfortunately. Maybe eventually, but I do want to see them do some more of these like darker like thriller types. That, and for God's sake, somebody, I know that Bloom Underground's mentioned it. Please start doing these like Skinamax exploitation like thrillers that everybody's ignoring. I think Vinegar Syndrome, which you think would be the company that would do all this, has done like one or two.
Right.
Like, and I own them. Own the only ones that they've done. But where the hell is the Night Eyes films? Where's the Body Chemistry films? Even hell, where's Friend of the Family with Tane McClure? Or like Shannon Worry, the other Shannon.
Yeah. Those are box sets that would sell so fast. You put a Shannon Tweed box set or something. Oh my God. A Julie Strain collection. Oh Lord, yes, please. I would take that. And then people are saying, "Oh, can we get the Howling sequels?" No, nobody wants the Howling sequels. What are you talking about?
What about Howling? What's the New Moon Rise?
Yeah, it's like oh, let's get a box set for like 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like no, don't do that. Release movies that at least would not, if not only grow an audience, would bring maybe an underserved audience to light. So I 100% agree. Skinamax all the way. If there's a way, and the thing is, don't make them single releases and don't make them $40 a piece. Make them a box set. Make them affordable. That's how you really get an audience, because prices go up, man, and it's getting insane.
Imagine a Body Chemistry set. There's 4 films in that series, and if you remember the covers are fantastic for those. They great artwork can be done on those. Same with the Night Eyes series. There's 4 of those. 3 really official with Andrew Stevens, and the 4th one Jeff Chocta. And Andrew Stevens kind of does a cameo at the beginning of the film. The complete Shannon Tweed 27 disc collection. Hey there, Mike. I am actually I'm from Newfoundland, as is Shannon Tweed. So obviously we're all the same. So you know, but Shannon Tweed, and of course the girl from BC's, also from Newfoundland as well. But more so, I probably ran into the girl from Species at that Church, because I used to go down to the hockey games in Daniels Harbor, because I live close to where she lived. She would have been like a kid when I used to go down there, though. But yeah, I used to go down there all the time. Yeah, I'm a total dead ringer for Shannon Tweed. I get that all the time. I'm out there. Is your name Shannon?
How awkward for you.
Yeah. Hey, I play it up, man. That's how I got the movies I got. I agree with John. I don't have Death Promise. I definitely more like Terminal. I love Terminal 11. I love the hell of that film.
That's a good example, actually. Let's try to land on Death Promise for a minute, because that could have been garbage. I mean, just from the cover, from the trailer, you're like, oh God, this is going to be really bad. Death Promise was one of my favorite discoveries of last year. It's such a wonderful movie, so fun, and rewatchable, so rewatchable. Compare that with something like, for example, Talons of the Eagle. Almost exactly kind of the same movie, but there's no heart there. It feels very empty. Death Promise, it feels alive. It feels immediate. There's weird choices being made. It feels like actual cinema. And I 100% want to see more movies like that. So that's why I'm down to clown for Vinegar Syndrome, because they find these weird movies, and they're not all gems, obviously, but gosh, when it hits, it just puts a smile on your face,
Oh, that's the thing. Somebody asked you our thoughts. Was it on Body of Evidence? I probably like it better than you did. People rag on that movie so much. It's a Madonna film.
I mean, I rented it just to see her nude, so I don't remember what it was about.
Willem Dafoe. It's basically bit of a weak ending, but definitely a decent. Oh, thanks for taking care of it. Definitely a fun film. But it's like she's into like serious like S&M stuff. There's a scene with her having sex in the car,
right?
There's a wax scene, and the scene where she breaks the glass and puts like Willem Dafoe down on it, and they have sex on the car type thing. I actually really dig those type of films. I have fun with them. I don't take, don't go into these movies like, God, I wonder if there's any Academy Award winning writing. And honestly, considering what comes up for Academy Awards, who cares? Like, really, but Academy Award winning writing anymore, it doesn't mean anything now. Right. Just like at this point in our lives, let's just watch stuff that's going to make us happy and we're going to enjoy. Madonna looks younger now than when she made the film. Her Instagram, is insane. Like, I'm not sure if it's like maybe it's filters or surgery or whatever, but kudos. She looks very different. Is eBay the best place to sell off Vinegar Syndrome releases? You've sold more Vinegar Syndrome releases than me. I haven't sold any yet.
Honestly, the best place is Facebook groups. Most people put up their things. Hey, I don't want this. Here's the price. Those sell pretty fast. Luckily, I've been able to find people, either Brother Chaos or a couple of people I know that are interested in getting it for what I potentially get it for as a subscriber. So it's I would say Facebook. eBay, you had to deal with eBay things and paying their percentage and all that. So I would try the Facebook group. Go straight to the consumer. You'll sell it, no problem, Razor.
Yeah, like me right now, I'm putting my movies in boxes, and I'm thinking, I got these bunch of Vinegar Syndrome slips. I don't care about. I care about the movie. Like, so I'm like, people buy slips, right? I might sell slips, and I got like the early stuff, like The Undertaker and Demon Wind and stuff like that. And just wondering if it'd be worth it to actually even go into that, like if people would buy those things.
Well, if you plan on selling Demon Wind, reach out to me first. But yeah, people, slips go. That's something to potentially fund your trip. People will pay quite a pretty penny for that. Slips sell very well, actually even more than the discs.
Oh, really? In the collection.
Oh no, that I sold that off immediately. Brian asked in the chat which Facebook groups. I think any of the Vinegar Syndrome Facebook groups, and there's also one called Boutique Dealers or Boutique Resellers, something along those lines. And it's just a bunch of fans that do that. What's that?
I'm in that group too, actually. I just never did it. I just look at it, but I never actually. I think my dad's from there. Do I have Jack Frost? Yes, I have. I bought a lot of the original like Vinegar Syndrome stuff. So I like Jack Frost, had Sweet Sugar when it came out. It had like the only one I didn't have is a Bloodhook, which I know a lot of people want. But because I bought Bloodhook afterwards. I wasn't going to buy it originally because when I initially saw Bloodhook, I'm going to be honest, I was not a huge fan of it. And it had the Mystery Science Theater like thing. There's a different cut of it. And so I was like, yeah, I kind of got to watch it. So I grabbed it later on. But like for a lot of the early slips, definitely a lot of the early slips I had. Like I was there for the first slip. I remember when Undertaker came in the coffin, which was cool. It was tight. The first slip's really tight. Not like Severin's like overboard tight though. Nothing apparently is that tight.
It's crazy, and that was not a joke. That was 100% me struggling for 10 minutes to get that movie free. It's insane. It's weird.
Am I going to sell off every set? Not really. Probably Vinegar Syndrome, some Vinegar Syndrome stuff, and some Scream Factory early stuff too. Because I started collecting Scream Factory back with the first two. I started with Halloween 2 and Halloween 3.
Nice.
I was at my local Best Buy and I saw it there. And after that, I was hooked for a while. So all the Scream Factory editions that came in initially, I was buying all of them, the Terror Trains, all the type of stuff. Was Blood filmed in Minnesota? It was, wasn't it?
I believe so, because it was from the producer of the Mystery Science Theater show. I know it's either Minnesota or Minneapolis, that is around that area.
Yeah, Jim Mallon, right?
Yeah.
Anyone need one necromancer? That is heresy, man. That's got Elizabeth Caton in it. And
she's the only good thing of that movie, though.
It's fun. I mean, it's not bad. Like when you're watching something like Necromancer, or what's the other one that came around that time? The Full Moon one. I wish you do more of that type of stuff with Adam Ant and the girl from
Spellcaster, Spellbinder.
Yeah, I dug that one. That one had the girl from Take on Me, the video. She's the rock musician. You need to know. Understandable, man.
Hey, that's one of the things that I like, specifically as a subscriber. If I buy, I don't have any here, but let's say I get a partner title just to review it, and the slip sells out. Well, guess what? I have an investment. So that's kind of how I see it. If I don't like it, I don't need to hold on to it.
Exactly. It's at the time right now where I feel that I'm still collecting and I'm curating what I want. But I don't feel that I have to have everything anymore, or that I have to keep absolutely everything. You just have this guilt of like, I got to have everything and I got to keep everything and I got to get this because I want to support this company. I want to make sure this movie stays in. But, at the end of the day, for me, it comes to a point when you've got so much that you have this streamline a bit and you have to say, okay, this is what this is what I'm really focusing on. This is what I want. This is what's going to give me happiness. This is what's going to give me joy. And I'm starting to find the movies that do that. Like, I'm going to watch the shit out of this movie. See this here? I'm going to watch this like so many freaking times. Some people hate this film. Man, I grew up reading Heavy Metal magazine. So I snuck in the theater to see it. Seen it several times afterwards. Like, stood the test of time for me. It's got a great 80s soundtrack. That's like Demons. The movie Demons. I watch Demons a lot. Hey, DJ, man. Because again, another fantastic like 80s film. One of the best for me when it comes to really doing an 80s Italian film and doing like what's a really good kind of truly 80s Italian film? Demons. Like, there's the zombies and all that stuff. They're fantastic. They're great films. But Demons is truly 80s Italian. It's got that amazing soundtrack. You got Billy Idol and all those groups on there, and I'm just like loving it. Going back, loving my 80s stuff, and yeah, that's it. Hitting my midlife crisis. That's what it is.
Well, I'm with you about cutting back, and I think what really brought it to light. I was never I need to get everything kind of person, but what really brought it to light was becoming for lack of a better word, a personality on YouTube. A reviewer that like focuses on this stuff. My first year, I was hot and heavy into it, and then I realized, what? I don't have room for all this stuff, and most of the stuff I don't end up liking, or I'll only watch once. I mean, I never rewatch. I have no time to rewatch anything. So I've been cutting back a lot, and I've been selling off a lot. So the only thing I would suggest, if you're curious about a subscription, make sure you have room and make sure you have a place to sell off to, because you shouldn't be forced to keep something you don't like, and I think, you could say, Vinegar Syndrome is bringing back the video store era. In a way, yes, but no. In a video store, I always say this, a video store, you rented it for $2 and brought it back. If it sucks, whatever, $2 didn't hurt you. But now you're paying up to $30 for something, and if it's terrible, sorry, you're still stuck with it. So I think being careful and not going in blind, try before you buy. I think it's just smart. That's just being a smart collector nowadays.
For me, I'm a blind buyer. I still am, just because I get like this adrenaline rush of seeing something that I haven't seen and just really loving it. Malcolm's a perfect example of this film that I get, and I'm like, I think I saw this. Then I watched it and I realized I hadn't seen it. And I was so happy after watching it. And it's very rare that nowadays that I'm going to find a movie that just like that I haven't seen, one, and two, that elicits this just kind of pure joy from me of like, oh, I just have watched a really good movie that I hadn't seen before, and that feels really nice. And it wasn't because it was like an exploitation film, it wasn't because it was a highbrow film, it was just because it was a film that kind of hit that sweet spot. And it definitely I like that. I like that feeling of it. Now I understand like when you're not wanting to go in to blind because it's expensive, and now it's got more expensive than ever. One thing I can say for the subscription service is there is the 50% off the partner labels. If you go in, like, know that you got the subscription service, but have enough like bones put aside to buy some of the partner labels, because if you're like me and you get it and like that becomes like what you got for the next 6 months, and they're putting out all these great partner labels and you suddenly can't afford them, there's a bit of like you feel a bit of venom coming up inside, because all of a sudden you can't afford these movies that you want, and you're getting stuff like Blades. Sorry, I just could not get into Blades. Oh, well, they have another streaming service. I don't think so.
No.
Here's the ad for their very streaming service. I was doing stuff recently, so this was going to be called Skinaflix, and I think they called it what they ended up calling it afterwards, because this was the name, but they called it.
Wasn't it Exploitation TV?
Yeah, exactly, Exploitation TV. Because I got a couple of discs that has it on the side. But yeah, it was going to be called Skinaflix first, but they changed the name. I actually kind of like the Skinaflix name, but I kept one of these here because.
Although I guess maybe never say never, because if prices keep going up, and we get priced out, then there's only one way to get movies. The future is streaming. I mean, we have to accept that. Sometimes it's just a lot easier. Sometimes I have a movie, I can't find it. Oh, it's on Netflix. I'll just watch it on Netflix. If I'm watching a movie, let's watch. I forget what it was, Problem Child or something, and we couldn't find the disc, but it was streaming, so we just watched the streaming version. So I never say never, but for a company to keep thriving and finding avenues to make money, you never know. But not anytime soon.
I think right now the streaming services are a bit. Some are going to make it, some aren't. It's at the point where there's a lot coming out, and not everything is going to hit the landing totally. So they're all trying to get their own stuff out there. Like I think Arrow has done a decent job of it. They kept it like a low price point. There's a decent selection, and not just from Arrow, but from other companies as well. They've managed to do that, so that's been good. I've seen like some stuff well done with Arrow. Tubi, the free one, by the way, is still probably one of the best selection on any streaming service you're going to find. Their documentary selection, it can't be beat, and it just can't. I watch documentaries a lot. And recently, where I've had a lot of stuff packed up, that I've watched the hell out of Tubi. I watched so many like documentaries in the last little while. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I'm a physical media person. So that, and you don't know when something's streaming, if you're going to get the full copy of the film. If they say, oh, I want to take out the nudity or whatever, some nudity in Snapshot, or I want to take out some of the songs, for instance. When I went to buy, here's a good example. I went to buy Return of the Living Dead. I got the Steelbook edition from Second Sight, because that has the songs, the original music from Return of the Living Dead. If you were to buy the Scream Factory edition, there are missing songs from it, like those replaced songs. You ever bought WKRP in Cincinnati? It's a TV show, came on back in the 80s. Then yeah, all the songs are pretty much like replaced. But the only way you can be sure that you're getting it is like if you have not always on physical release either, but is to hope to find it and get it that way. Because at the end of the day, things go off of streaming services, licenses are lost. That happened on Netflix. That was a big thing. When I first got Netflix, I got it. I was so excited. We got Netflix, had my PS3, and this was the earlier days of Netflix. And there's all these Stephen J. Cannell shows. I grew up with like 21 Jump Street and Silk Stockings and all this type of stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to watch all these again. They're cheesy, fun. Wise Guy's going to be on there. I love that show. The day after I got it, every Stephen J. Cannell show was taken off Netflix. Every freaking one. I was like, son of a bitch. So I went out and I started buying them, because I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I can do that. And like you said, like Tubi's great for like, say, if you're looking at something, you're not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
But always go in knowing that you may not, you may have a different experience when you see like a 4K version of a film, or a film that may not be uncut on the streaming service, and you get to see it uncut, or you see like a different cut of it. I know that some movies have like different alternate cuts, or something like VHS rough cuts and stuff. Those are always kind of fun to find. And a lot of like physical media does have that on it. So if you find something that you like, then like go towards that. And eventually, if you're just starting collecting, that's the thing. Just start diving in and grabbing stuff that you like, because at the end of the day, we don't know how long like something's going to last. Just get what you like.
But be aware that things have, there's a shelf life for everything. I mean, it's hard to find a VHS player now, So yes, Blu-ray is beautiful. 4K, they're there now, but they may not be there in 20 years. So yeah, I think we're living in a gold time. But to me, always the important thing is the movie. And I don't necessarily need to have it on 4K or even Blu-ray. If I wanted to see a movie, I'll find a way to watch it. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Yeah, it looks rough, but I would rather. For me, I want the story, I want the characters, and I want to see I want to see the movie play out. Yeah, if it looks rough and dark, that's fine. That won't bother me. I just want to more experience the whole thing, So I'm not as precious about, whatever how many Ks my movie has. As long as I can see it, I'm happy. That's sort of where I'm at with that.
See, I think that streaming is like, I don't think streaming is going to replace like physical media anytime in the near future. Though I do think streaming is definitely going to replace cable television in the very near future, because that's initially where streaming was going. They started with like, okay, we can put it in movies and stuff, and they took out the rental, pretty much most of the rental places, the big ones like Blockbuster and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it came to this, like TV, like when people go getting streaming service, they don't usually, like, I could be wrong, they don't usually grab them because, oh, I want this movie, or I want to get this set of movies. There's usually a show or an exclusives that are attached to it. People bought Disney Plus initially because of The Mandalorian, and they kept it because of the Marvel Plus shows that came out there. And some people kept it because of Boba Fett and wanted to cancel it because of Boba Fett. But yeah, Boba Fett shouldn't talk that much. But good actor, but I'm sorry. I like the mystery of Boba Fett. It's just me. We have the same amount of hair. Well, so we go with that. But no, but that's when I hear people talk about Netflix, it's either a Netflix original movie or it's a Netflix show. Nobody's talking about the fact that Spider-Man's on Netflix or whatever, like movies. People rarely talk about that. It's just, oh, I watched this movie on Netflix. It's kind of a offhand type of thing, if they say it. If there's any streaming service that's taken for movies, it's Criterion, because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's curated to be like a filming service, which is fantastic. But most of them, the big ones, Netflix, Disney Plus, Peacock, they could be big. Who knows? I doubt it, but who knows?
They have the content. They're going to have the eyeballs. Peacock's got MacGruber. By the way, 100% recommend it. It's such a good show.
Saved by the Bell. They got that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really all about the shows. I mean, Stranger Things really kept Netflix going.
Amazon has some amazing shows come up like in recently.
Yeah.
But no, at the end of the day, it's the streaming services that are going to do it. Like here in Canada, we have like an app, an Amazon app called Stack TV, and it's like 12 like TV networks with all their shows, with like some shows live. Like you can watch shows live. So that's a killer. I know so many people that have canceled cable to get Stack TV. It's $12 a month. Like, and Amazon's about $70 a year. You get $12 a month. That's nothing compared to like what you pay for like $60, $70, $100, $120 sometimes for cable bill. And you get that, then you just get the service you want. Like you want to get Netflix, or Netflix is getting more expensive. One place I can say where streaming is really working though is if you are an independent filmmaker, it's a lot easier if you're making. And you can probably attest to this. And you can if I'm wrong, by the way. A lot easier to say, oh, I'm going to put out a movie and I'm going to get it put on a streaming service, as opposed to I'm going to put out a movie and now I'm going to get physical copies and discs made and get all this done and get the promotion work done. If you got it on a streaming service, a lot of that promotion will add revenue money that you would have had to spend to promote your film. That's done. It's a proven streaming service. That's already done. Eyes are going to see it and can help you in the future when it comes to getting funding and getting other projects.
Yeah, well, I'll say this: there's almost no money in independent filmmaking. It's so hard, and kudos to everybody who is still out there doing it. Tubi is my friend because Tubi is funding my next movie through the Asylum. They have a deal with Tubi to make Tubi originals. So
I've seen that recently. That looks cool.
Yeah. So Tubi is funding movies, not a lot of money, but they're funding movies, to have their own original content. And of course there's commercials on there. So that's how they make money. But if you have an independent movie, you could go to Shudder. If you could find your way in, it's harder now. There's a lot of gatekeepers, to sell your movie to Shudder, unless you're at a festival and they contact you. But from what I understand, if you bring your movie to Shudder, they don't pay you. They will give you a percentage of rental rates or whatever they call it. So you basically give them your movie and then hope that they're honest enough to give you some money back. But that's kind of all over the place. 20 years ago it was the same way. Make your movie, yeah, we'll put it on DVD and we'll see what happens. But it sucks. It sucks to make independent movies. But streaming has at least given, like you said, more people an audience, or at least a showcase.
Yeah, like Logan said there, he thinks that indies made more money before streamers. Yes, they did. But I mean, like right now, at this point in time, physical media is not as big for streaming for independent film as it would be in the past when it was just like the VHS years of independent filmmaking. That's the glory years of independent filmmaking. That's when money was actually made. When people were going to Sundance or going to one of the festivals and going to Cannes, like Truman, guys that were going to Cannes and making a fortune for like these little movies because they could not get enough horror, they couldn't get enough action there. See, back then, like there was a lot of classic movies like the Casablancas and stuff like that. But I'll be honest with you, those weren't the stuff they rented. Nobody were going to their rental place on a Friday night thinking, I better get Gone with the Wind. The guys are going to like that. No, we went there. We got the Full Moon stuff. We got the Trancers. We got the Puppet Master. We got the horror films, the action films. A bunch of us got together and we watched them, had fun. And it was the same thing. We were coming home. Like I would get my mom to watch slasher movies with me by getting ones that had mystery to them. So I'd tell my mom it was like a mystery film. She's probably watching this actually. It was a mystery film. Like, this is a mystery film, Mom. The Burning's a mystery.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Yeah, I agree. Those kind of movies are the ones that really inspire future filmmakers. Full Moon specifically is 100% the company and when I met Charlie Band, I told him, you're the reason I make movies. I rented Trancers 2, and I'm like, wow, I really like this movie. What a goofy movie. And then this was the first special feature I ever saw. It was the Video Zone. And it was behind the scenes. Yeah, right? It was the behind the scenes interviews, and the cast was having such a good time, and they were talking about how much fun it is to make movies, and they were playing around. They're like, oh my God, I want to do that so bad. So Full Moon, 100%, I give them credit for making me a lifelong devotee of filmmaking, as hard as it is. Unfortunately, after they lost their Paramount deal, their movies got really bad, but I still am very much a lover of that company.
Full Video Zone is the one of the biggest reasons that I kind of got into like really got this jonesing for behind the scenes stuff. Like I said, my initial special features were books. I read books like crazy. But when Video Zone came about and I realized I could watch these like clips, some of them were promotional, but still they were so fun behind the scenes stuff and all these extras and showing like that, like Richard Band doing the music and like little like interviews and clips and all these trailers for movies that were coming out. And they had like this comic book like aesthetic to them because Charles Band's a huge comic book fanatic. That's why his movies were made the way they were. People like nowadays when they watch like Puppet Master films, the early ones, they're like, why are they like this? Because he loves comics. That's why. And apparently little creatures. He loves little creatures.
Loves them.
But a subspecies series. I love the subspecies stuff. I love the first one's still my favorite because I was the kid that I liked the dude, the emo. The like I love Anders Hove, like, but the brother in the first one, the guy that played. Here's my thing: the guy that played Decker Moss in General Hospital. That's her with the hair. I was gonna act. That was gonna be my thing. And when I went into for acting, when I was doing that, I was always asked, "You love movies? Are you gonna act? Do you want to act in movies?" And my answer was 1,000,000% no. I don't want to act in films at all. I want to do stage stuff. I wouldn't mind doing something like soap opera or anything like that because it's fresh and it's something new every day. And I like that. And movies are so fragmented. Like you got to have like I wouldn't mind being behind the scenes type of thing, but being the guy like that's in front of the camera, we're going to shoot this here today, and we're going to shoot this here, and it gets piecemeal together. Like it amazes me that the work that you do, man, because I'm like I'm so OCD about things. I'm like, no, I need to be doing something all the time. And when we decided to pack up my movies because that's going to be going way ahead of me, like long before I get to go, then him's like, well, we can take our time and do it. We'll do it over time. Within a week and a half, I had everything done because that's just my personality. Because if I get something set in my head, I have to go and do it. And I'm not the person I guess I'll take a day off. There are no days off in Aaron's world. But yeah.
Yep, that happens.
Acting department really talented. I hope I was actually.
I'm the opposite, man. I tried stage acting and I just didn't like how fake it felt. And I feel film acting is way more natural. I feel you could be more. I use the term alive in film. On stage, you have to be very much. You have to. Everybody does the same thing. Everyone talks the same way on the stage. But in film, I don't know. I feel like there's an immediacy to it that you cannot get on the stage.
See, I know what you mean, but like with the projecting when it comes to that type of stuff. But in all honesty, with the stage production, like it's not a one and done usually type of thing. Like a lot of the stuff that I was in, even like some of the early stuff I was in, like when I was younger, it ran for a while, ran for a couple months, whatever, ran for a time. So every performance you got to like nuance it a bit more, and that's why I actually like that because for me, I'm kind of a bit of a perfectionist for certain things. So once it's done and cut and it's in, that's it. Like I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Ryan O'Neill's scene in that film. Okay, it's a fun as hell film, but it's one of the most insane scenes and worst like takes in anything. And that's gone. That's there. That's permanent. But one thing, and you get some really bad acting stuff like like soap operas and stuff like that too. But you get to work on a character and you get to flesh it out over a lengthy time period. And for me, that's the key part for me is because it's got to do with my writing too, is that I really like to have things that kind of flesh out. There's kind of nuances that I like to play. And you can play them like in scenes in films, with especially if you're like really good when it comes to like the physical aspect of it. They're actors and you can tell them when they can act with their eyes. And you can tell something. Michael Keaton's a perfect example of that. He does an amazing amount of acting without even saying a word. And from anything from like Clean and Sober to the 1989 Batman. When Michael Keaton's Batman, people say, well, Christian Bale did a great job. No, it was a good movie that Christian Bale had to be in. But Michael Keaton had the harder job of being in a movie that was good, wasn't great, but was good, was really good and great for its time. But he put on a performance that was better than the film, and that has to do with the fact that when you look at Michael Keaton, it was not a guy that you would normally see in any other thing. He's played Mr. Mount, to play Batman, right? You don't think, oh, this is the guy's going to be Batman. But when you're watching him as Bruce Wayne, and just the quirks that he does, and the certain times when he just stops or he looks a certain way, you're like, I totally see this guy putting on a Batman outfit and going at the middle of the night. There's something damaged and hurt in this character, and not everybody could do that. George Clooney couldn't do it, but he was getting that money, I guess. Val Kilmer looked like was kind of there. Christian Bale was never there. Like he got like the Bruce Wayne down okay, but he never got Batman. He never understood Batman, and it's obvious. Like his voice got growlier with every film, and a little bit more ridiculous. And this is from coming from a guy that actually likes these. I'm a Batman fan, but but just it's just the nuances that actually make a role for me.
Absolutely.
But I would go behind the camera at this point, because one, I'm older, and two, Michael Keaton was the Curb and Herbie Fully Loaded. Yes,
yeah, it's great.
That is it's a key moment for Michael Keaton's act. But like to see him like do like that scene in Spider-Man, like the first one with where basically he's Vulture and they're driving in the car. Honestly, that is the best scene in that entire movie. And when people talk about that film, that's what they talk about. It's a scene in the car when he's kind of confronting Peter,
right?
When all the things are clicking. Nobody talked about the fight scene afterwards. It was dark. It was muddy. Let's be honest, it wasn't the greatest fight scene for a Spider-Man movie at the end of that movie. But that sequence in the car, that was the money pit scene for the film.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That works in a movie. On a stage, you wouldn't get those feelings because you'd be removed. You'd be sitting in the audience, seeing from far away. You wouldn't see his face and his mannerisms and all the.
I would move you, man.
I'm saying movies feel more real. They give you more of an impact. Whereas, I love stage. I mean, obviously actors love the stage because you can play and it's your thing. But as a filmmaker and as a writer, I like to be able to say, cut, let's take that again, say it like this, because I don't think you understand what you're saying. And then you can refine it that way and get those moments that people remember, like the car scene in Homecoming. So, yeah, man, movies. It takes a little bit of everything to make a delicious stew. And sometimes you get served two and you have to vomit. But
I was so disappointed. I expected so much out of that film. I think I expected too much. Maybe I'll go back and watch it again. Me and my cousin were watching it, and we're like, there's one sequence that I'm not gonna lie, freaking genius, that we loved, and it's the scene where the two houses, brilliantly done. Nothing touches that in that movie afterward. Nothing like honestly comes close to it. That sequence though in itself is a fantastic sequence, but
yeah.
The rest of the film around it, it wasn't well constructed. I just didn't believe some of the performances. And he had some good actors there that I think were given like a lot of kind of shoddy material. I think I hate to say this, but the person that was chosen to be the bad guy wasn't the person to actually put it on. But that's the killer part about it.
Yeah. Should we talk about the releases? Should we talk about our thoughts and feelings on Thriller? At least the one that we know for a fact is coming.
Thriller, I'm excited about. I'm like 100% excited when it comes to Thriller. This is one that I'm really glad to see come.
I have it on DVD from Synapse, I guess, the original release.
Thriller, and the version's actually that one on DVD.
Yeah, and it's from what I haven't seen it in forever, and it's okay, but I don't know how rewatchable it is. I mean, it's obviously an unpleasant movie, and there's not a lot of real revenge stuff till the end, from what I remember. It's mostly just her being violated for a good chunk of the movie, and then maybe the last third is the action stuff. But I think people going in blind are going to be, I won't say disappointed, but at least they won't understand kind of what the big deal is behind the movie.
You think so? I mean, if the features are there that are right, I think that it might. And that's the cool thing about it when it comes to doing something like this, is you gotta kind of measure expectations, and you have to remember like the film and for the time and place that it was put into. That's the killer part when it comes out. Like you never know when this is going to be if it's going to work or not.
Yeah,
but I think this is going to work for some people. Christina Lindbergh has got like there's a certain thing about her that she has, like that she just has as an actress. Like certain actresses have it, and like not everybody does, but she definitely did.
Yeah. But honestly, if I were to pick between this or I Spit on Your Grave, I Spit on Your Grave is a better movie. I think the script is better. I think it's better made. I think, I mean, I may be incorrect on this, but I feel the only reason Thriller is ever even mentioned is because it has the hardcore scenes, inserted, for lack of a better word.
Well, yeah,
and that's definitely the shock factor there, because it's not super violent.
I mean, I don't know if that's the only reason for this one, but yeah, there's definitely and there's been the controversy over Thriller where Vinegar Syndrome snaps the whole thing. That's definitely got a lot of people talking. I think it's worth owning, but I'll be honest, it's not something you're going to go to and watch over and over again. Like much like Last House on the Left, much like Spit in Your Grave, it's gonna have its views, but it's not gonna be like something you're gonna like. Hey, the gang's all here. Let's put on Thriller. It's not that type of film.
No.
Like the VSU, that might be, is more of that. Let's watch a fun movie. Let's put on Dabney Coleman and Henry Thomas type of film.
Let's talk about that. Do you not want to mention the title, or?
Oh no, I don't mind mentioning the title because it's all over the place. If it wasn't like I wouldn't. But yeah, it's a lot of people think that's going to be Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah,
and the only Cloak and Dagger, they had like a very bad like DVD release of it. Not bad, not great. And he had like an 8-pack, like Hate Family movie pack that was out there. That actually that's the only way that I own it right now. So the fact that this could be like a 4K with like special features, like I love the hell out of Cloak and Dagger. I really, really dig that film.
It's great. It's one I can watch with the kids too, which makes me happy.
Yeah, that's neat, and it's a fun film. I don't think, like people say, like nowadays when movies come out, they're always like, is this movie going to be PG or like recently Daredevil, like. It's rumored there's going to be a 3rd season of Daredevil or 4th season, right? Coming, and it's going to be coming on Disney Plus. And people are like upset. They're like, I'm not sure. Could be PG. Daredevil's pretty much PG, the series on Netflix anyway. This wasn't a hard R series. Like no Netflix. Maybe Jessica Jones was pretty much a hard R, but that's it. When it comes to the hard R shows on Netflix, even Punisher, I didn't see as like a super hard R for most of the series. Daredevil definitely wasn't. So yeah, PG-13 kind of definitely works for that. But yeah, I'm interested in that one. I'm not quite sure about the other titles. I know there's been some rumors for the other. Do you know what the titles?
I don't know. Well, I think I don't know if he's here. Jason suggested.
Yeah, you know that much.
The Hollowheads, something of the Hollowheads.
Juliette Lewis, right?
I'm not sure. I've never even heard of that movie. So when I was like, the poster looks awful. So yes, that's probably going to come from Vinegar Syndrome at some point. But I'm not familiar with it at all. I'm trying to pull up the email here to see if there's any info. Let's see. I think we're getting 3 reveals, maybe 4 reveals today. They say we're getting 3 of our 5 halfway to Black Friday VS title pre-orders, plus our next VSU. So I think we're going to find out what 4 of the movies are, and 2 of them are going to be secrets.
Yeah, 2 of them. Well, they'll give like clues. So we'll see if we can figure. Their clues have been pretty easy to figure out, like in the last little while. So that I'm super stoked about is like, because I remember when they first did the clues and it was the Angel Collection. I knew it right away. Meet the Hollowheads, I don't remember very well, but I don't remember. Like, it's not like Surf 2 Levels of Bad or anything like that. I thought it was kind of fun. I do like Julia Lewis though. That's the thing. I don't think she's done, to be bluntly honest. So those are kind of exciting. There's a William Malone movie, I think, that's being rumored too.
Scared to Death, I believe.
Yeah. That's those are just rumors when it comes to that. I think we're pretty sure when it comes to, I'm gonna make some tea in a second. When it comes to so you're gonna be like, shut for a minute. When it comes to the idea of like of the films, like Cloak and Dagger is one I probably, if it's there for sure, and it looks to be there, I'm most excited about. Thriller, just because I really like Christian Lindbergh, and I like to see stuff like Made in Sweden, which is actually a much better film with Christian Lindbergh come out eventually. And if we get something like this, I'm hoping that they're going to see not just, okay, this is like just a rape revenge type of film, and look at it as, okay, this is a Christina Lindbergh film. But I'm still waiting for them to actually like pull the trigger on Cynthia Rothrock, because I think she's been horribly utilized from Vinegar Syndrome at this point. This might not be their fault. Maybe they just can't get the rights to the films that she does. But the only the Pampa said with like some cool Cynthia Rothrock stuff, and she promotes it well. And then it's a movie that she's like the secondary lead in, or kind of a smaller part. And I'm always like, oh, it's gonna be Lady Dragon. It's gonna be Lady Dragon. It's gonna be like one of the really cool ones, or China O'Brien. I love those China O'Brien movies. But nope, it's Tiger Claws.
Yeah. God, I don't really know how they decide what to put out, or what. I keep having this discussion with people, like, why do they pick certain packaging for certain things, and why wasn't, if Cloak and Dagger is a VSU, why wasn't Drop Dead Fred a VSU? What makes that movie separate from that movie? Why wasn't Ticks? Why wasn't Dead Heat a VSU? These are,
I can understand. I mean, Ticks maybe too horror. Drop Dead Fred, maybe not enough action, depending on, say, like, just from what they're going, like, gonna say it, like, they've become way more of an action like label in the recently. Like, they're still doing a lot of great horror stuff. The Giallo box sets. I'm not sure how you felt about the last one, but I kind of hate Sister Ursula, man. Sister Ursula.
Oh man. Well, I mean, I will say Arabella Black Angel is probably my favorite of all time.
That's one I don't remember.
Wow, that movie. Jeez. Oh Lord. So I would say that's probably my favorite box set. But I didn't even end up keeping that one anyway. But I did enjoy Arabella quite a bit.
Yeah, but no, they're putting out some good like horror stuff, but they are putting a lot more action stuff. And I think it's just because maybe it's selling. Maybe it's what they're getting the rights to, or maybe like they're starting to look at okay, we got the rights to these action films all of a sudden. Like, we can cut these out. Now some of them are, swings and hits. Blood Games, when they put out Blood Games, fantastic film.
Right.
One of the best things ever put out, in my opinion. And then there's movies that I'm on the fence about. Champagne and Bullets. Sometimes I think it's hilarious. Other times I'm like bored, to be bluntly honest. Like when Wings Hauser's not on the screen, I'm like, where's Wings Hauser? Or there's the sets that kind of I get iffy on, because I love Camille Keaton, and two of the Camille Keaton movies I really liked in that set, and then one of them, like now 10 minutes of like extra sex scenes, and me and my cousin watching it, and we're like, stop with this sex scene. Like, this is me. I never say stop with the sex scene, but at this, I'm like, I'm so bored. I'm like, are you serious? This is the most boring sex scene
it was so bad. Aaron, I love my nudity. I fast forwarded through the nudity in that movie. I was like, that's too much. It's too much nudity, and it's too boring.
I can watch adult films and enjoy nudity more than this. I literally went out to the kitchen. I ran like 3 times. Like, I was like, hey, Raj, you want a drink? He's like, no, I'm okay. No, Raj, I'm going to pause again. where I sat down there and watched it. And he's like, that was a rough watch, man. I'm like, yeah, like Sex of the Witch. So that's the name. Yeah, thank you, Razor. Pam Grier said, hell yeah, I'll buy Pam Grier. I love Pam Grier, but I got a lot of her stuff. I did the shimmy slide when the camera's off. You know what? No, I don't do the shimmy slide, but you know who dances all over this friggin' house? Me. That's who. My Apple Music is on a lot of the time, so that's the truth.
If you want to get some solid views, put out the the Aaron Pin dance workout video. Oh man. Yeah. That I think you're gonna blow up, my friend.
No, blow up is like what happens is like when I'm stupid enough to keep my curtains open or something like that when I'm dancing around here. Somebody
there you go. Yeah, exactly.
That's what's gonna happen. Popping and locking, yeah, dude. That's totally me.
Love it.
Oh, God. I remember back in the days of like breakdancing, and I did some dance when I was in school because the acting thing, like it's just what we do. And I'm like, at the time, like one of my friends was like into breakdancing a lot, and I wasn't. I'm like, I can't do it. I kind of liked it a bit later when they kind of refined it a bit, but no, I was not a breakdancing type person. I was like, no, which sucks because I learned to dance and did dance when for acting. That's not the same type of dancing they do on the dance floor. I got to find out when I went to college. Is that Elaine on the dance floor? But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a dancer at all. The first person I ever danced with was my wife at our wedding. I'm not a dancer whatsoever. Maybe I'll dance with my kids, but not. In no way will I ever be hitting up the clubs.
Well, not now, man. But I taught my friend to dance. I taught two of my friends to dance. Like I'm not lying, literally back in the day, because we're going to the sock hop was what we had back then. So what stuff's going to be discounted? Justin, nothing to really discount it. This is not a sale. This is a pre-order. So if you want to get, basically they're going to put out there's going to be two options. You're going to be able to get the whole package, usually 2 or 3 options, the whole package, the VSU, and the 2 mystery titles. So there's usually like 3 options there, and you can choose to get it all. So if you're not a subscriber, if you're a subscriber, then the VSU is probably the only thing that you're going to be looking at tonight. If you're not a subscriber, though, and you want to be able to go into the sale, and you feel like the title. Now, here's the thing. There's a caveat. You feel like these titles are going to be ones that you're going to like from what you know and from the clues that are there. If you think that are going to be ones that you like and you got the bones to do it, it's a lot less expensive to buy them now than it will be during the sale. And for me, last year this time, it took a great weight off of me. And same thing with the year before when they did their Black Friday sale. I bought the subscription, I bought the service, like the month, like that thing ahead of time, bought the bundle, so that when I went in, I knew, okay, that money was gone out of my bank account. That money's not there. When I'm going in now, I'm going in and I know exactly what I can and can't afford. And I'm not adding on like titles that are just been announced to like, I got to get this title. I'm guessing going to put back this title that's kind of low because I want to get this title that was just announced. That's the key part for me when it comes to this. So if you're not a subscriber and you're going to a sale, you're vending soon in person, and you usually buy during sales, this is a great time. The bundle is a great time to buy it. Are we looking at over 200?
Yes.
With the BSU, yes, I say.
Because we've got multiple 4Ks. I think there's a double feature in there as well. So 100% over $200 for the package deal. And something else to keep in mind, when you get the package deal, you get free shipping for the halfway sale. That's another benefit. There is no free shipping during the halfway sale. So you get free shipping. It ships out after subscribers. It kind of makes sense if you like everything announced tonight.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because one of the things that you can do where you do have the free shipping is when that sale happens, you just add to your other order and you're not paying shipping on anything else. But also, yeah, subscribers always get shipped out first. So you get yours first, but then people that pre-ordered this bundle, they get them right after the subscribers. And then it's the other people, like probably me at this point, depending on how much things cost tonight. But yeah, that's what I'm actually looking forward to.
And something to keep in mind, everybody, you don't have to buy it tonight, and nothing's going to sell out. Nothing will sell out. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to buy it for the halfway sale. Beastmaster lasted a long time. Six String Samurai is still in the game. Wait for Black Friday. Wait for November if you want it cheaper. If you can wait till see Cloak and Dagger, till November, wait. There's no reason to plunk down. I don't know what, $50. What do you think it's going to be? It's got to be pretty hefty.
Probably, we're looking at $40 to $50 for Cloak and Dagger discounted. It's going to be like 70 or 80, like without the MSRP, which it never really goes to the MSRP. But I'd say the thing is, if you are going to be buying some of these new titles, here's the thing: if you're not going to be buying these new titles until the sale, okay, you definitely like you said, wait. Like you can wait on certain titles. If these are titles that you're probably going to be buying anyway, yeah, and there will be, like Ragman just mentioned, merch. I remember that during one of the sales, there was exclusive merchandise that only happened during the pre-order.
Yeah.
So I got my what's it called, the Fade to Black T-shirt, and was only during that pre-order. Like they had a different Fade to Black T-shirt afterwards, but I'm a massive fan of that film. Like that was always one of my favorites, and I watched it so many times. So that I knew I was going to get that shirt. So if there's a movie, like say that you have like a Cloak and Dagger shirt or a Thriller, the Collar One Eye T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be cool. And if it's only for the weekend, definitely grab on that, because it's not gonna be something that's gonna come back. They don't bring back merch normally. They did for the dinosaur pajamas, but that was a little bit of a different, kind of a different thing. I've never seen them bring back like T-shirts really.
No, and something to keep in mind is something that I discovered recently. When you order merch, sometimes that holds up your order. I got my February package way late. I got it in March, and that I'm a subscriber, but it was held up because I bought the Valentine's shirt for my wife. So keep that in mind. It might hold up your order if it's worth waiting. Just if you want the shirt, you want the shirt.
Silent Madness T-shirt held up my order when I during Black Friday. I had everything done. I bought the Silent Madness the 3D shirt, and that held up my order. Oh God, about a good 3 weeks. It was worth the wait because I actually liked it. The merch is actually good quality. I like the T-shirts. My Severin and for me may do the best kind of the feel T-shirts. I go back and forth on which ones I like better, but they do quality T-shirts. When it comes to, I haven't had anything that's gotten ragged or anything like that, or nothing that's gotten kind of loose around the collar. So that's always a good thing. Always, by the way, when you get your T-shirts for the first couple times, just make sure there's a mom and dad type of thing. You just want to turn it inside out when you put it into the washer to save your print. I want a bowl of Syndrome boxers.
They should do that. They should have more fun shirts like that. I forget the name of the restaurant that he has or that he works at in Africa. They should have the shirt of the restaurant name, now serving special burgers or something. I think that would sell really well. Those kind of gimmicky shirts. Do
you feel that they take themselves a bit too seriously sometimes when it comes to this stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, when you see their posters, there are these these weird kind of a skull with film reels, and the Vinegar Land poster was this is abstract theme park kind of thing. I think you have a little more fun with it. I mean, I think the pajamas was a good start.
Yeah,
that was great. But I would love them, like Severin. They have so much fun with their merch. I think they plan their movies around what merch they could do.
Sometimes it seems like that.
Oh man, but the merch is great, good quality, and just keep it in mind because however, let me take that back, because it's a halfway sale. If you pre-order now, the shirts could be being made during this time, so maybe it doesn't affect your order. I mean, I think that was probably only because it was the Valentine's sale, and the shirts weren't even printed at that time, so maybe it's not a factor for the halfway. We'll see.
Yeah. And if you really want the merch, honestly, it's worth it because the merch is quality. I just want to have a bit more fun with the merch. If they're going to be putting out, why is there not a Giallo merch of some type yet, because they put out like 4 boxes and a double feature of films that I don't actually call Jello, but are fun films. Yeah, just enjoy it. Dark Force Entertainment takes Dark Force Entertainment. I can't with those.
Man, I'll tell you what. I wasn't gonna review it on the channel, but I didn't want to. I got their copy of Fangs. Great looking slip, but the movie's terrible. It's barely about killer snakes. It's about an old man who tortures people with snakes, and I didn't love it. I gotta be honest. I didn't love that. But Justin brings up a good point in the chat. Thriller limited eye patch. If they
I would love that,
right?
Yeah, that would be fun. I could actually see them doing that.
If they don't, they're like, everybody needs to write in and goes, "What are you guys thinking? What is going on over there? Jesus, give me some eye patches."
Do you want an embarrassing Aaron story? Like super embarrassing. This is
please.
See, I have no filter when it comes to this type of stuff. So I'm gonna press a girl. College. This is college, by the way. So this is how much of an idiot I was. Girls, all my stupid stories start with I want to impress a girl. So I was talking to this girl at this drugstore, and we were like talking loud and flirting back and forth. I said, I can't really, there's got to be something that's going to put me across the things. I got to find a way that I can actually talk to her in a more serious manner, something to make me seem more, So I bought an eye patch. I'm not joking, man. So I bought an eye patch. And so, not thinking I've been talking to this girl for a while, The eye patch is bought at the store where she works, because it's the freaking drugstore. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to wear this eye patch. It's going to seem super cool, right? Because I'm going to come in. I'm going to seem so tough. So I put on the eye patch. I start to walk down the road, because it's around like 25 minute walk from where I'm staying at the time. And man, you know what's really sucks? Depth perception. So I'm walking down the road with an eye patch on like an idiot, looking like not just looking stupid, but looking like I'm walking on the moon with the eye patch, because I'm just like, God damn it, like everything seems so off to me. Luckily, I stopped before I got there, but it could have been a horrible thing. But yeah, embarrassing Aaron story. This is what you get on my channel that you won't get anywhere else.
I love it. That's great.
Was I feigning an injury or just no? Not neither. I just wanted to seem like cool, I guess, at the time. That was my thing. Like, eye patches are pretty cool. I guess I'll seem tougher like that. I was literally walking like a drunk pirate. Yeah.
Because you knew she had a thing for Snake Plissken, so
there she goes. Or even like go back to soap opera days, the Patch character from Days of Our Lives, right? There you go. And I had like the long blonde hair too, so I was like, yes, this is it. Wow. This is my Patch moment. And yes, I actually went out with her, but luckily not, and because smart enough to take off the eye patch.
Okay, good.
Or I don't think it would work. But yeah, at least I didn't get an inflatable pair. I'm surprised I didn't, man. I did so much stupid stuff. Yeah, and I'm like, I tell my better half, she just shakes her head and she's like, "You were unique." Yes, I was.
Oh man,
I was an awkward bunny.
Hey, you took swings, man. A lot of people didn't even try. That's great.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of people were smart enough not to try. But there you go. Next, when you see if there's a eye patch that comes out of this, you guys will think of that when you get the eye patch. Trust me. Now that this is in your head, you remember it.
I love it. I hope they do that. If they don't do an eye patch, I honestly I think something's broken over there.
That's it. One of these days, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to come on here with an eye patch on, and I'm going to seem like at least 12% cooler than I normally do.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm curious, if it's not Cloak and Dagger, what do you what could fit nowadays?
Find if it's not. Initially, I think people thought there was another title that people thought it was. which was an okay title. I can't remember the name right now. I'm sure somebody in the chat will remember it. Before Cloak and Dagger, there was another title, but Cloak and Dagger just seemed more.
Oh, joysticks.
War Games.
War Games.
Which is a good title, and it's an MGM title, and it does have the font that the Game Over type font on it, so it could definitely be that. I wouldn't be upset if it was War Games, but I would be more excited if it was Cloak and Dagger.
Absolutely. No, I forget I forget who it was. Somebody on YouTube, on Twitter, put up a comparison of the game screen for Cloak and Dagger and the Game Over thing that Vinegar Syndrome posted. It's the same font. Yeah. So it's almost 100% at this point. But I mean, if it's not that, if they're just messing with us, and it's like, I don't even know. I mean, it has to be that. But I think a lot of people are going to feel the same way. Like, oh, well, this feels like rad, or this feels too much like a kid's movie. I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't at this point. But there's not that many titles that people are either aware of or super excited about. So you have to go to titles that not everybody's going to love.
Exactly. Some people speculated Jai 6. I really don't think so. Jai 6 would not fit the VSU type. I mean, like Jai 6 would be a regular release. Wouldn't be something that would be a VSU. Like Cloak and Dagger, yes. War Games, I can see it. I wouldn't be ideal, but I could see it, and it would definitely bring in like people too. But I still Cloak and Dagger is the one that I want. But I think recently Vinegar Syndrome haven't been too coy when it comes to their clues. It's fairly on the nose. Like when Ebola Syndrome was announced, like everybody guessed it right away, and I cried. I sat in the corner and cried. But it was it. But yeah, Barrett says that he thinks like Scream Factory would do a War Games. I could definitely see Scream Factory do it. Ship Factory, basically, because it seems like more their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But I could have seen them do Cloak and Dagger too, to be bluntly honest with you. But I'll be glad to see a Cloak and Dagger with a VSU release. Hell yeah. What's the artwork going to be like? That's another thing, because you've done amazing artwork. Even if you didn't like Six String Samurai, artwork was fantastic. Mm-hmm. So didn't beat the Beastmaster artwork, because that's like, it's Beastmaster. And I love the Don Coscarelli stuff. I do. I don't think there's a film that he put out that I don't like, actually. I'm trying to think if there is one. No, I don't think there is, actually. Jai 6 would be a fun release, but it's not a VSU release. And I'm pretty sure that the clue was hinted towards VSU. Jai 6 is one of those that came out. I think Severin put it out. Mm-hmm. Like Jai 6 and Jai 6 2.
I think so.
There's a few of them, right? I remember back from my watching movies some days, those same movies days. That's like when Arrow put out Porky's. I was like super stoked. And I was like, yay, Porky's is coming out. And people were like, oh, this is like American Pie. I'm like, no, this is way more serious than American Pie. People like going like thinking, oh, Porky's. And then they get there and there's like, like there's serious like the issues on racism and like all this stuff. Yeah. Like all this serious stuff. And they're like, wait a minute, this isn't totally funny. Nobody said it was. That's like when you watch Last American Virgin. Nobody said it was going to be like just, it's like, no, Last American Virgin, one of those lump in your throat movies at the end. It's a sad friggin' movie. and yeah, that was one of those that got me. Like Last American Virgin, when the first time I saw that, oh man, what a gut punch. The ending of that movie was a punch in the hell. Beastmaster 2, eventually.
Beastmaster 2. Well, one thing I don't want to see again is, which I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of, in 4K releases of stuff that's already been on Blue. Like we've seen in March, the double dip thing. Which even though it is an upgrade, I don't need Schizoid on 4K. I don't need X-Ray on 4K. I'll be honest. I haven't put my review up yet, but 4K doesn't do much for the movies. They're the color palette is so drab that they look nice, but it's not like, oh wow, it's a whole new movie. So I think I would rather see new movies, even stuff like Surf 2. I would rather find new weird things than re-releases of stuff that everybody's had.
I don't know about that, man.
Well,
that's a bit of a stretch. Not like Surf 2, but
not like Surf 2, but like Blood Games, or Sister stuff like that.
Yeah, but I guess the part of it too is like, we've been in this for a bit. There's some people that they're coming into the game right now, so that like missed out when Scream Factory were putting that stuff out. So I get it. I mean, like, there's definitely an audience for the stuff. Scream Factory did well with some of that stuff initially, and if they get the rights, because other companies have been putting out stuff, Terror Train came out by Scorpion releasing, I think, and there was some other ones, but I like to see like a mixture of both. If you want to put out some of the stuff, then just make sure you put out some really good stuff. I think X-Ray Skits are not a bad. Not a bad idea, but the other stuff, yeah, I don't know. There's some stuff that I don't want to see come back out again. That when I got done Scream Factory, and when I got it, I was like, I'm going to keep it because of Scream Factory, but it's not something I watch like a lot. And I got a lot of that when it came to like some of the earlier Vinegar Center stuff too. When I was like watching a movie, I'm like, oh, this movie's really good. And there's times when I'm legitimately watching a movie and it's like, this movie's really good. And there's other times where it's like, I paid $40 for this. It's really good. It's really good. Keep telling yourself.
Dude, that happens so much. I hear people saying, "Oh wow, I really liked this." No, you didn't. Come on, it's just because you're talking yourself into it because you paid so much money for it and you want to like it. But if you had to choose, you would give it back and get a refund. But I get it. I mean, the collector collects. That's what they do. And we had to take the good with the bad sometimes.
I want to see. I know there's gonna be a lot more 4K releases this year. They're gonna lean.
Oh yeah.
4K is the next. It's the next kind of craze for collecting right now. It's much in the way that back in the comic book days, chromium covers. Every comic had a chromium cover or a holograph. Then yeah, collecting getting the 4K is the next thing. And I do like 4K. And people go, well, what's the picture like? Sometimes good, sometimes not. But what I care about is the sound. I'm an audiophile, so I love when there's a really good sound. So when you get the 4K sound, I need an Atmos like sound system. Eventually, I just got a Sonos right now, but it does the job. So when I get like a really good sound, a good sound mix, it makes such a difference when you're watching a film. Because there's watching a movie on TV or watching a movie like you say, what stream, like you watch a movie that's streaming, and then there's watching a movie on a good TV with a decent sound system with like 4K, and it's just that sweet spot. Where you're like, yeah, I can understand why people don't go to the theaters as much because you're getting like if you get a nice screen, you get a nice sound system, you get theater quality at home without the hassle sometimes, like some of the idiots that you get in the theater.
Yeah, my dad was a big audiophile too. He had speakers all over the house. I mean, at one point, I mean, he would buy a new speaker every month. Like, oh wow, this is new, whatever, So I was like, oh cool, and movie sounded amazing. He had, it was one of the first people to really, was really into surround sound when that was a thing. And I'm sure he's upgraded now, but he loves sound. That was his big thing, and he had 20 speakers going and woofers and all the stuff. So yeah, his big thing was sound as well. Even if he didn't necessarily like the movie, he would play it. He would always, somebody would come over, hey, hold on, let me throw on Terminator 2 on Laserdisc. You have to hear this. That would be like we watched the beginning of that movie so many times, like for him to sample the system for everybody.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. I remember doing that. I remember at the VHS we had like the stereo system attached to our VCRs. We had two VCRs and one beta, I think, and we had the stereo system sound like set up for that. So there was times like where like discs were expensive, VHS discs were expensive to buy, so like $80 back then, and I would tape off. I'd get like an audio cassette and tape off certain films that I wanted to like just listen to and just experience over and over again. I did that for a lot. I did it for Eddie Murphy's Delirious, like the comedy thing. That didn't land as well now as it did back then. But back then, it seemed like hilarious. What kind of TV am I rocking right now? Sony. Right now, 65-inch Sony, not bad. 4K. Sonos, but I'm gonna probably upgrade to Dolby Atmos when I go to when I eventually get to Morocco, if I ever get there. And we have another 55-inch upstairs, which is a Samsung 4K, and we got a 1080p 3D LG TV. That's where I do my screenings at for reviews in a room there. And we have a couple like 32-inch CRTs that we use for like retro gaming, and we got a 13-inch that I use for some retro gaming in my viewing room when I'm not doing that. And we have a 55-inch over in Morocco 4K that'll probably be in the main bedroom, and I'll probably have to get a kind of a smaller screen for the secondary bedroom. It's something that's going to be maybe a bit elongated that I can game on. Yeah. So much money. But over years, like not in one sitting or anything like that. I'm not like sitting back in my private like screening room or anything like that. I like to have a bigger TV. I like to have like about an 80-inch, but Hind won't go for it.
Yeah, I'm rocking a 65 as well, and I want to go to an 80, and we have space for it, but I have to wait till my current TV dies. Mistress Cass will not let me buy a TV if the current one is still working perfectly fine. So let the kids play around the TV.
My dad's got a projector. He's got it in his movie room, and so he's got it set up there. If I go to visit my dad, I'll try and do a video because he's got like a setup downstairs now. He's got a movie room set up. So you guys get to see that. I can't rock a projector. I got to have the screen. It's just me. I got some friends that swear on projectors, but I need that 4K goodness. I do. My next TV I'm gonna go 80. I don't care what it says. I'll trust me. I'll figure it away. I'll be all puppy dog eyes and stuff like that. That's what I do.
Do they sell? I mean, I guess they would. Do they sell 80-inch TVs in Morocco, or would you have to like buy it here?
Are big. Yeah, like you can get some really big ones. When we were there last time, it was about 2.5-3 years ago now. Like we were looking around at TVs and that, then at the store, because he had like you go to like a supermarket there, and there's like your electronics section with a bunch of TVs and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like no physical media, pretty much gone in Morocco right now.
So wait, so what happens if you go over there? Is that it? I mean, because what's the import going to be if you get movies sent to you?
Well, I'm working on a plan for that. Okay. I don't want to say too much right now, but I'm working on a plan for that with somebody, and for other stuff like that I want to order. Some of the stuff is basically going to be. That's the reason I didn't go for the Vinegar Syndrome subscription service this time around. I'm going to I may order some stuff. I've sent to my dads. I've sent to my kids. I've sent to my moms, that type of thing. Because I'm going to be moving to Morocco eventually, but I will be visiting like my family, like, a lot. And when I go, I'll be going for like a month or so I can go and do any shopping. And plus, London is like just 4 hours like flight away. So we got like, he's got family in London, and we got family she got family in Paris, and we got places to stay in both those. So, and I love London, so she knows that. And so in the future, if I get there, guys, so don't like be surprised to see like a video hunting thing done over in the London area. Strong possibility.
Cool, man.
They're not. See, censorship, man. A lot of countries have this thing called censorship, so you're not going to get like nudity or like like a lot of the nudity stuff in Morocco. Now they do have some stuff, like I bought Eden Lake in Morocco. I bought the Fritvilt films. What are they in English? Cold Prey in Morocco. So there's violence, and there's some, but it's bringing it over. There's a difference in like bringing over or one movie or 2 or 3 or 4 movies. Mm-hmm. And then if you're like me, bringing over what equates to a store's worth of films. So that's the thing. But yeah, no, they don't have a lot of that stuff over there. And international shipping charge today is really expensive. So I'm going to get stuff sent to family. I thought about getting a box in London. I'm still thinking about it, depending on the cost. For certain things, because I don't just collect movies, I collect books too. And the books are like movies aren't an expensive thing. But I collect omnibuses, comic book omnibuses, and those are pricey. But and the books, like even like the Stephen Thor books, those are pricier books. But those are cheap compared to like an omnibus. Like you can spend anywhere from like, if you get them on sale, like maybe 70, $80, or sometimes if you don't, and it's when you really want, like $150, $200 for one book. So, it's going to be different. Like I won't be able to shop as much. So my channel is going to change a lot. That's why I was going to do I got podcast stuff ready, but I pulled back until I move, because it's going to very much. So if you like listening to me in the shower, fantastic, because you're going to get more of that, because I'm definitely going to be going more towards a podcasting type of format, where I'm going to be working on some different things. I'm trying to do something a little bit different. I don't want to like cramp in spaces that people are already doing. So I'm going to do something kind of like a little bit different with my podcasts, and I'll be availing of you, by the way, and some of the other people that are here too, for episodes, for stuff to do. So it should be a fun way to expand, and hopefully people enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. As long as you're not off the platform. I know YouTube sucks sometimes, but hopefully you'll be able to still stay in the game.
It's the killer part. The killer part, like it's hit me now. Like the monetization is like, nope. And then the taxes that I get charged right now, it means that if I get any monetization all on my channel, it's usually like 3 to 4 months in between right now. So when you see that little thing, that donation thing that comes in at the bottom of the screen that people kind of ignore, that and my Patreon is the only thing that's kept this channel going, because in the last year I almost had to cut the channel off, because we got hits major a couple times, and I tell things like it is. When my car went down, pets are passed away, so we thought like, okay, I'm going to have to pull away, and that was rough, because I had to really think about it, because people don't realize you don't just put on a camera and go on here like this, it costs streamers. It's not free when you do it like we do. It costs us money every month. There's money for when we're showing movies, sometimes we're lucky enough if a company will send us a couple things, but most of the time when we're showing movies, this is money that we put into. Master Chaos got a subscription to Vinegar Syndrome, a year-long subscription. Guys, that is not cheap. That costs a lot of money, and it's something that I know that a lot of it is like when he goes into stuff like this, he's doing all of that for you guys that are watching. Like a lot of it comes into stuff that you're watching, and that's what we do this. We love doing it, but there is a part of it that it's a labor of love, but there's a business aspect to it. And for a while, and like that, you couldn't say that on YouTube. It was a dirty word to say. I remember like there was like YouTubers that said, well, I want to do this, and when initially came out things like Patreon stuff and buy me a coffee, that type of thing, there was huge pushback, and people were like, oh, that person is sold out. But if keeping your channel going and feeding your family and keeping the lights on is selling out, I'll sell out every day, because at the end of the day, and you put a ton of work. You got another job that you do, and that takes a lot of funding that you work hard on. You're a filmmaker. You make movies. You got to hustle. You got to do that. And the fact that you can go into that and you write and you push forward and you do stuff like that, then you come in here and you say, no, I'm still going to do this. It doesn't give me like the financial gain that your other job does, but there's a satisfaction there. But still, at the end of the day, subscribe to Master Chaos, hit up his Patreon, hit the donation buttons, because it keeps channels like us going. Because I've been here 10 years. I've seen so many channels go down, and a lot of times that's the case. They just can't afford to keep it going. I've seen channels that started, and they're every week they're going out, they're buying movies, they're going to the video stores, and look, this is what I got this week, and this is what I got this week, and it's so hard to keep that up. It's a pace, and you realize that these people behind the scenes, like, and a lot of these people, they're not people that are making a lot of money. They don't have gigantic jobs. I don't, and so it's now the time where, like, hey, look, I can buy these 20 films every week. And if you're lucky enough that, like, a lot of people, you get a lot of companies. I have 2 companies that I get movies from. Thank God I do, because there are times that it's just that where I'm looking and I say, okay, I want to buy this release and I would love to do this for the channel. And it's to the point where I got like literally got embarrassed because there's so many people that could do things that I couldn't do. So I had to, like, come back, rethink, and say, okay, how do I keep this going in a way that I can, in a way that I want to, that I'm able to. And then I said, I got this. I got to sell it on me, and hope that people like that, and then just work on where my strengths lie. And then that became, I like the quirky WTF movies. I like the Vinegar Syndrome movies. I like the Severance stuff. I'm a huge Jess Franco fan. And for, like, the longest time, that was me. There was, like, me and a couple other people that actually spoke on that stuff. Now, Vinegar Syndrome's a huge deal, so everybody talked about Vinegar Syndrome. So it became more of a. That's the thing. That's what happens. Popularity brings some more people. For me, it's fantastic because I watch all the stuff. Because I watch everybody show. Because I watch Master Chaos. Because I watch Jessica's. Because I watch the Michael Keanes and the Heats from Serial Midnight. I watch this stuff. And it's fantastic, and it's wonderful as a viewer, and it's like, but it just keeps me on my toes too. Like, okay, how do I mix it up this week? How do I do, like, I know that there's gonna be 20 people talking about this topic, but how do I talk about it in my voice?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. When you come on here, guys, the most important thing said, like, what should I do? Whatever you do, if it's movies, if it's TV, if it's comics, if it's video games, find your voice. Like, Burnet's a thing. Find your voice, and when you get that, go with it, because that's the more authentic you. And if you're gonna play a character, then do that, but commit to that. Fine, like I do. I do a semi character on here right now, which is literally part of me, which is Hotaker, which I just started recently. These little, like, mini, like, 4 or 5 minute videos that are really things that I think, but I can do more hot takes, and that's where it all came from. This is hot takes. It was Hotaker and Hot Taker, and I thought, okay, this is a fun way to just have fun with it and be a little bit quirky, because I've been on here 10 years. Let's just mix it up a bit. Let's do some different things. So that's me. Anyway, that's my spiel. Remember that.
No, here's the thing. Being a YouTuber, it is hard work. People don't really realize it. It's something that I would have quit a long time ago. If I was, 10 years, that's amazing. If I was a year into it and I was still getting like 30 views, 20 views, I'm like, yeah, it's not worth it. I'm connecting with people, but I feel like, the audience isn't there. But luckily, I do get a lot of views. I keep getting comments, people saying that they care about what I say, which means the world to me. So that's really what keeps me going, is the community. And I think that's what makes it such a special thing. Even if the money isn't there, it's the fact that people care enough to spend time with you and to listen to your opinion. And on the other side, you have to give them an opinion worth listening to. So, or show them brief flashes of butts, which I also do. But you gotta keep people entertained. If people like what you do, then to me, that's kind of all that I've aspired to as of late. If I can entertain myself editing a video, if I can make myself laugh, then I think it'll be a good one. But it's hard. It's hard to keep at it, and I don't. There were hundreds of times I was like, I don't know. This is like, I don't want to film this review. This feels stupid. I don't want to. What's the point if I did this or that? And I've turned down a lot of like publicity, not publicity, but like requests for commercials on the channel that just didn't fit. Like now, if I did like, but let's talk about Surf 2 before that. I want to tell you about this new perfume that came out. Like, it would just be, to me, that doesn't feel right. So I have turned down a lot of those. Did you get a lot of those kind of requests?
I wish, because I'm not gonna. I would take some of those requests right now if I could have enough that I wouldn't like. Not that my job is bad. People are nice and stuff like that, but it's not my wheelhouse. Is in like it's not what I'm trained for. I'm trained for business, public relations. That's my thing. And I'm definitely good with public relations on other people more than I am myself. But yeah, so some YouTubers don't have regular jobs, support their channel, they just want to beg. I disagree, Justin. I really do. For a lot of people, they want to make that. There's YouTubers that have quit the regular jobs to make this their thing, and you shouldn't never shame or say the worst thing you can do is shame somebody that wants to do this, because you know what they're doing. They're going on there, they're investing in themselves, and it's the same as somebody decided to go and said, "I'm going to start a small business. I'm going to do that type of thing." There's a lot of work in it behind the scene. So I take a lot of umbrance when it comes to words like e-bagging and stuff like that. I have no time for it. It's insulting to people that do a lot of stuff out there, and go for it. I mean, like if somebody's there and you want to go and this is what you want to do, and you're going to commit to it, and this is going to be your thing, and you can afford to do it. This isn't taking money away out of your mouth or out of your family's mouth, or you're not worried that your internet's going to be shut off. That type of thing. Go for it. All the power to you. And if you can make it and you can do a good thing with it, fantastic. Because I'm not. This would have been amazing for me 20 something years ago. And to be honest with you, young Aaron, I would have killed it on this. Because I had my personality type. I might have been canceled by my personality type back then. I'm not gonna lie. A bit, I'm a bit more refined now, sadly, than I was back then. But no, like Indy says, YouTube for a lot of people, it's not a hobby; it's a full-time job, and they take it seriously. And we do. We even like people that do this like this. It's a side hustle. We take it seriously. We come on here and we want to have fun with that. And the good thing about YouTube is so interactive when you're going live like this, especially. It's definitely hard to make money off YouTube. That's why that they have to, that they go to do it. But people kind of commit to it. When you get to the point where you're like, okay, I think I can do it. And I'm sure they sit down and they work out, okay, this is what I like. This is what I want to do. If I was getting for you, say, if I was getting sponsors, then this would be a lot easier on me. I could sit back, I could breathe a bit. I know that I could feed my family, and then I could probably get more movies than I get right now. But the thing with YouTube that no other platform really has, and it even goes to some of the Twitch stuff, is not just a community, but more of a curated community, and more where it becomes more of a family as you go through. And I love that about it. I love going out there and doing that. But if I was over here 30 years ago, I might wear an eye patch.
There you go. I like what Asian movie enthusiast says in the chat there. It is he likes the community. That's what it is. You make. I've become much more sociable here doing live stuff with you guys than I've ever been in my real life. I'm kind of a wallflower at parties. I'm scared of people. The pandemic is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Because of Master Chaos and because of YouTube and because of you guys. So I mean, but it is a double-edged sword because you have to feed the beast. When I was doing my year of daily content, that killed me. I'll never do that again.
That was. I felt sorry for you because that's so rough. I mean, I did a month of when I did this whole live for a month thing for the month of October, and I would get off work, and because then there wasn't pandemic, I was working outside, so I'd come home. Sometimes I get home 12, 1 o'clock at night. And I realized, okay, I haven't made a video for tonight. I got to go live and make a video that's probably going to be 2 to 3 hours long, and then I'm going to get up and do the chores I got to do before I go to work, and then do the cycle over and over again. And if I was lucky, get to watch a movie in between doing all that stuff, which was insane. So I cannot imagine doing it live or just going and filming anything live every day for like a full year. Dude, it's insane, but I love you for it, man. Fantastic.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's a good way to jumpstart a channel because it gets a lot of content out there, and allows you to connect with a lot of people. You know, that's how I was able to connect with you, and I'm hoping to connect with Just the Discs. I'd love to have him on, and vice versa, and you know, I think that's really where the thriving is. If you can make friends and connect, and you know, spread the love, and really, like you said, be a family. I think that's the important thing. I think we bond over stuff like Vinegar Syndrome. That's why pre-order nights are special. You know, that's why Black Friday nights are, like, to me, they're like my I'm so excited for Black Friday nights. You know, it's so a joyful experience, just not just buying crappy movies, but just the fact that so many people love movies so much that they will, you know, go crazy and spend $50 on something they've never heard of just because it has a pretty picture.
Yeah,
that's movies, man. I love sharing in that experience.
But with a butt on it?
Well, no. That's no. Do not buy it. If there's any kind of, if we see butts tonight, be careful.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, if Dabney Coleman's butt is on the back.
Well, that's different. I'm only talking about lady butts. If they do man butts, that might be an exception to the rule. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it's about time. There you go, right?
Yeah. yeah. We need some equality in these slips.
So that Mistress Cass can be like, oh yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, there you go. After I made her watch Drop Dead Fred, which she wanted to see, I think she's done. Although I did convince her to watch. There's a partner label title called A Long Walk, which came out February or March, I think March, and it's a time travel movie, and she loves time travel stuff, so I think we're gonna watch that one.
So I'm guessing not. I haven't seen your video Drop Dead Fred review yet, so I'm gonna guess she's not a fan, or she's not a
no. You know, she did not like it, and she'd never seen it before, but she was going in really wanting to enjoy it. And she had the same problems. It's a weird movie for a mixed audience. Like, is this for kids? Not really, because Drop Dead Fred likes to look at ladies' vaginas. It's weird. It's a weird movie. It's just a strange movie. Now, I'm not saying it. I mean, people like it. Obvious, that's great, but it's an odd movie all around, and it's a very specific audience.
Yeah, it's one of those that I kind of dig, but I do like Rick Mayall a lot. But I totally get if somebody told me I don't like Drop Dead Fred. Like, I know exactly why right away. And it's understandable. It will make complete sense to me. It makes I'm more surprised when I find something that likes it than I am when I find something that doesn't. Mm-hmm. Because it is like much like, and this one fence audience later on, like Buckaroo Banzai, Big Trouble in Little China, were films that were all over the place in tone. Mm-hmm. But I think that they do work better, like in my opinion anyway. Big Trouble in Little China is a classic now. I don't think Drop Dead Fred's ever going to get to that level, but it's not a Big Trouble in Little China, but it's okay. But I think Drop Dead Fred is one of those that I think you gotta have some type of like field for.
Oh yeah,
there had been some type of feeling from seeing it in the past. Certain films are going to be like that. As for like the time difference, you have no idea my what I'm like when it comes to basically Insomniac. So yeah, it's not gonna be too much of a problem.
Man. Oh man, look at this! It's already 8:00. Jesus, wow!
What time's your show starting?
Is that at 8? About 30 minutes.
Me too, actually.
Oh my God, dude, this is I'm excited. I'm hoping we get some good stuff. Obviously we won't be together, but we'll exchange notes after.
Exactly. Oh, fingers crossed, man. You usually get more good point than me, but you got more invested in it, so I can understand this time around.
Yeah. I mean, if we get a Dabney Coleman, butt shot, then
no, it's
Yeah, you are psychic.
That'd be awesome.
That would be insane.
Do you know
But yeah,
that movie I want 9 to 5. God damn it, I want that on.
Oh, isn't that out already? Isn't that Shout Select? I might be wrong.
You're probably right. Actually, yeah, but I want a 4K. We upgraded to 4K.
God, no.
Because we got like Dolly Parton.
Dolly's great. Dolly's always great. But yeah, I'll be on here on YouTube in about 30 minutes. Tony will be with me. My buddy Undead Nightmare 24, Brother Chaos is joining me as well, and we'll hold it down. But most of you are gonna go over to the Patreon, so make sure you don't miss that.
Yeah, if you're not on my Patreon, there's only one other place that you should be. That's right there. All right, let's do this right.
What?
No, we're not gonna do it. Over there. Oh, God damn it! There you go.
I mean, yes,
awkward at all.
Screen direction is weird. Yeah, it's yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Like, thank you so much for joining me, man. Especially since it was a kind of a not last minute, but still it was kind of a couple days like notice before we actually could do this. But it's been a blast. I want to have you on again soon.
Please.
It's fantastic, and Lord knows we get to talk about Vinegar Syndrome and everything else, even the weird stuff.
I got to tell you, I've got something planned. I don't want to mention anything right now, but I got a huge thing planned revolving Scream. I know you're a major fan because we covered it over on my channel, but I don't want to say anything right now, but I'll be reaching out with an email in a little bit. A pretty big live event I'm going to be hosting, and I'd like you to be a part of it in some way. So stay tuned.
I am intrigued. So now that I've seen the fourth one, the fifth one as well.
Right.
I liked it more than you, I think.
It's grown on me. I will say it really depends on what part 6 is. If part 6 is good, then I think it might redeem parts of part 5 that I didn't like. But I have such a fear that part 6 is going to be the last Jedi of the Scream franchise.
I'm just nervous that they brought back some of the original cast members again. I thought part 5. I thought the newest one was a good goodbye, like to take him out.
You can't do it without them, though. I'm glad that they're back. At least they're back. But I don't know. I'm worried. They said some things that it's very worrisome. They're like, we're gonna break all the rules and swing for the fences, and oh no, that scares me. Don't do that. Don't do anything crazy, please.
Sydney's behind the mask.
Oh God. Oh man, I really hope not.
Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Thank you, Master Chaos, for coming in. Check him out. Check out his films. Look him up. You want to pimp out your movie?
Sure. I should have brought it. It's called The Legend of La Llorona. It's right now it's available on Walmart and physical media. Yay! I've only seen it on DVD and Walmart, but I know it's on Blu-ray if you get it through Amazon and like Target.com and stuff. But yeah, The Legend of La Llorona. Had a lot of fun with it. Danny Trejo uses a shotgun to kill a ghost. You can't beat it.
No, there you go. See, at that, I can't beat that. So thanks, guys. See you guys see the Patreon guys at Crimson Cult over in about half an hour on the channel, and I'll be peeking in, I'm sure, as I'm going to bed, because you'll probably be on later than me.
Yeah, hope we might go an hour and a half. It depends. It depends on how much fun we're having. We'll see. It's a party.
You may not know that I'm there, but a lot of times I'm actually there.
in the shower, right?
I'm in the shower. I'm just peeking it from the shower, like watching the video.
Perfect.
Last time I remember did your Black Friday video. I was like in bed and I was like, I was dropping to sleep and I was watching video. Oh God, this is good, but I want to sleep. All right. Yeah, I know you got to get ready. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys soon, and have a wonderful day. And I will hopefully we're going to see some Cloak and Dagger, and if we're lucky, some Dabney Coleman butt, because you got to have that.